Welcome to the Businessmen and Women of Color podcast. I am your host, Ann Alston, and it is my pleasure to bring quality programs to all of you. I am back again with another amazing person who is in the visual arts, and I just can't wait to speak with her today. I think this year is going to be special because we have a lot more people who are in the arts that is stepping out and being part of the movement to share their expertise with us. So you need to be on the podcast if you would like to be here in 2020 to do what everybody else is doing, which is to unify and come together to share your information, because that's what we're here to do at the BMWOC. So make sure that you like, share, and vote for your favorite, because we are also giving away 7 BMWOC awards. So make sure you do share, like, and vote for your favorite and all of that. And so before we get into our podcast interview today, I would like to take a moment to thank our corporate sponsors, which are My Financial Home, Evangelism Radio, J&F Enterprises, Sears Consulting, Autism Families Rock, Awakening to Love, Eli Natoli, Kimberly McLemore, True Synergy, and Platinum Financial Services, along with our other participants who are making this season a huge success. So at the top of the hour, we mentioned we have another dynamic person coming on here, and her name is Christin Loocie, and her last name is Glover, and she is a native of Washington, D.C., born and raised in Oxon Hill, Maryland. She is also a graduate with a bachelor's degree in graphic design from Art Institute of Washington in 2012, and she went on to proceed to get her master's and craft her design, assuring clients that they have a great visual communications with her art that she produces for them. She has designed artwork for the American Society of Addiction Medicine, Custom Inc., CBRE, and all types of entrepreneurs and all types of small businesses that really impressive with her work. And so she also has a passion for entrepreneurship, as she is a small business owner, and she loves to encourage her friends and families to do all kinds of stuff with art. And so with that, I would like to bring on Christin to the podcast. Welcome, Christin. How are you today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, girl. I think my voice is about to leave me because I'm talking about so many people, and I don't want to lose my voice because I have so many folks that I'm talking to, but I am definitely excited to talk to you today. So I'm going to go ahead with my opening question. As everybody know, just tell everybody, you're from DC. What got you into art? What was your growing up like here in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area?
Okay. And you can call me Loocie, since we've been we friends now. So
we friends. That's right. Okay, Loocie, go right ahead.
I was born in DC. Just started working there. I really grew up in Oxon Hill and Fort Washington area. And always been into arts, always been drawing. That was my outlet. When I used to get in trouble, that was something you really couldn't take away from me, like punishment. Okay, I'll just draw. So that was my thing. And then I was introduced to graphic design, and I was really intrigued in what you could do on the computer. I used to be all up in paint back in the day. So I was like, okay, so I can really make art on the computer form. So that's when I got into it in like the 12th grade. Mm-hmm. And so that's actually when I knew what I wanted to be. And from then I was kind of like, 12th grade, I didn't know what I was going to do until I got introduced to graphic design.
Wow. So what type of drawing did you do initially when you were growing up before you got introduced to the technology?
I used to draw like characters and tattoos for people. So I drew like all the characters: Bugs Bunny, Tweety Bird, Taz, all the TV show characters. That's what I drew. And I see my nieces, they're doing the same thing, and so I'm just kind of like, that's where I started. So I see so much hope in them.
Okay. Now, did you follow I know that you have some educational background in that, but did you attend any other courses of that nature to help develop your art style over time? And what did it turn into, like, once you got into the class? What did your, kind of give like a excerpt of like how your art changed over time as you were, educating yourself in that?
Definitely. It's always continued education. I still look up art and design. It never stops really, the education. So I'm all about continuing education and continuing to be creative and keeping up with the trends. So I mean, we heard of Linda. You look at these ways that you can do things, and I've become more clean, more in the branding. At first, it was more just design based on what you want to do, but it kind of switched. I kind of became designing for people, and I like that because I like to do things for people and make them smile and make them happy. So my design kind of came around customer service and how I can design for people, which is different than just designing for yourself or just creating art for yourself, because now you have to understand and kind of get inside the people that you work with, kind of get inside their visions, and how can you create something for them. And so that's how it really changed. I would say that's the biggest change.
Okay. So how did you manage not going over creative with maybe some things that you wanted to do? Because I know that sometimes when I create stuff, I kind of want to put a little bit of Ann in there. But
Hmm.
and then a lot of artists, they do, they like, oh, I'm
Right.
going to give them something, I'm going to create it for them, and it's going to be something that I think that they will like. But how do you kind of, hold back and reserve yourself from putting too much of Lucy into someone's artwork?
Right.
Yeah, you could give some tips about that too, in case someone's
Definitely.
listening for that.
Okay. So it's definitely is hard because I believe I'm an expert. So if someone wants it this way, it may be a better way for that. But I don't so quickly shut them down, and I kind of ask questions. I ask questions a lot. So I might be designing, and they say they want this color or they want it that way, and the first thing I want to know is why, because some people want things but don't really know exactly why they want it. So just asking questions and understanding what that client wants, and how I put my 2 cents in it is I provide options. So I might provide an option that's exactly what the client want, might do a mix of what I think is best. And most of the time they choose my option, but I think they
Mhm,
respect the fact that,
mhm,
oh, you actually listened to me and you tried my idea, and I appreciate that. Instead of you just going straight into your idea without even showing them theirs, it's kind of like you ignored everything that they wanted. So just keeping in mind that present what their ideas are too, and talk them through it and present yours, and make it a collaborative working experience. And I say this all the time, like,
mhm.
I work with you and not for you. So I work with you in the design, and we can go through it together. It's not just a design is do it the way I want it. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
No, yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's dig into some of the designs you do today. So you do some digital art. So what type of digital art do you do? Are they for like book covers, or are they portraits? What type of digital design, in case, I'm pretty sure somebody's listening that may need some of your service, maybe get a better idea as to what you're providing now with your organization, Toluca Studios, which we're going to talk about that as well.
Yes. And that just you just mentioned designs, and it just made me go back to your initial question of, how did my design change? And at first, when I started designing, it was flyers. It was very. It was just a lot going on. So now my designs are very clean, like I stated. I'm a graphic designer, so graphic design is so much. I focus on branding, and that becomes with logos, style guides, colors, and fonts. But I can do book covers, so much podcast design, social media designs. I can do print. So if you're looking for infographics, stationaries, t-shirt designs, package designs, I really don't put myself in a box, and I think that's really different for me. I try to see whatever I can get my hands on. And if I don't know, I'm going to teach myself, or I'm going to work with someone that does know. So
Okay. So how did you come up with the concept of Toluca Studios?
Toluca Studio, it is a communication firm. So before Toluca Studio, I had Nerd Nation, and that was also a graphic design firm. That was with some friends. So we were doing that for a couple of years, and it just didn't take off. So that was the failure that I embrace every day. And I try to tell people, like, it's okay to fail. But it's about learning from that and keep going. So Toluca Studio is my new baby. And we specialize in branding and visual identities. And we came up with that. I met two young ladies at my 9-to-5 job. And we were like, oh, we want to do some work together. We want a design agency. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I stopped doing my design. I'm not really a single freelancer. I like working with people. So I was really open to the idea. So that's how Toluca came about. And we just started working and taking breaks and figuring out our name and just going through the whole system.
Okay. And so I see in your bio that you work with over 40 small business owners. Was this particularly for design, or did you help them with other aspects of their business?
Mostly design, and I would say consulting, in a way of they just want to know, are they headed in the right track? We do naming. Some people started, they don't know what to call their business is. So we try to help with naming. It can even be as simple as, they just want a launch website. Anything to help them look visually appealing, as well as just helping their brand, whatever that means to you. Your brand is pretty much, how you look to others. So.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. So what are some of the biggest mistakes that small business owners do when it comes to their branding or the design of their marketing materials? What do you often see that could be like the top three issues that they run into and why they're seeking your service?
Right.
Mhm.
I think when starting their business, I don't think small businesses do their research. I find a lot of people that come in don't really know who their audience is, don't really understand the exact problem that they're solving. I think that really is a big issue when you're starting a business, because if you don't know the problem you're solving, then how do you know that that's a need in the market? And so it's usually a need that you're solving. So figuring that out and figuring out who your audience is very important, because you can't sell to everyone. You have to have a niche. You have to know who they are and how they tick so you can sell to them. It's pretty much what people do to us. They know who they're selling to. They know why they put things in front of our faces, because they know we're going to buy. And at the end of the day, the small businesses, as entrepreneurs, we don't create small businesses for money, and that's all we care about. Is usually somewhat of a passion in helping others, but we have to remember to keep we have to have cash flow. So keeping that in mind and seeing how important that is. It doesn't have to be your primary reason, but keep in mind your cash flow. So that's number 2. And I would say number 3, it will be creating a budget. A lot of people come and don't really know what their budget is. I mean, even if your budget is $500, at least you know what your budget is, because you can be able to work with that. If your budget is $1,000, find a way to work with that. So just understand and creating a budget, because you have to invest in your business to get something back. That's anything. You have to invest in it, whether that's money or that's time. And usually money comes in when you can't do it or you don't have the time. You have to spend the money. And sometimes when you do have the time, when you don't have the money, you may know the skill and you may have to put a lot of time into it. So being able to invest in your time and money into your small business.
Okay, fabulous. And so what other type of services do you offer in addition to graphic design services to small businesses?
Um, we help create a brand. So we have a workshop and we do consulting. We talk through it. We really help figure out deep down why you're doing this. And I think that's really important. We work with so many different designers. So if you need social media, video, I think that's the greatest thing that we can do, is provide resources for the people that we come in contact with. If it's us doing a website, but you may not have your content, we have content writers. So I think the most important thing that we do is provide resources to our clients from our clients. So just using it, it's like a circle, just using what we have and not just keeping it to ourselves, but sharing it to everyone.
Okay. All right. So besides the design element of your business, what do you like to do personally outside of design? What do you get into?
Uh, that's so funny.
Mhm.
Design is my baby. That's my passion. So I would say I do that a lot. I have a 9 to 5. I do design there at CBRE, which is a real estate commercial, and hopefully I'll be letting that go soon. Just gotta get to it. But I do that there. I come home and I do this. So I would say I do design a lot. Now, what I would like to do more is play the guitar. I have a guitar. I need to learn how to play it.
There you go. You got a guitar. I got a guitar. I need to know how to
Yeah,
play it too. Maybe we could take lessons.
I know, right? I know, but I have to take the time to do that. But I never,
Hmm.
I like designing. But I like spending time with friends and family. If I don't do anything else,
Hmm.
I definitely make time for them. And it's a little, it's a
Hmm.
break for me. I like doing that. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So, are you going to be engaging in any activities coming up in the next few months in which people can learn more about how you can offer them services, like maybe a webinar or maybe a conference or some sort of
Um,
workshop?
Yeah, so Toluca's been in business for it's the second year. So first year was us, learning each other. This year we're trying to figure out our groove and our marketing. Um, so we've had workshops. We need to get back on that. Um, what else will we be doing? I'm trying to get more into talking engagements and more workshops, but we're just really trying to figure out our flow. I think once we start working on this full time, we can really figure out our marketing needs.
Hmm.
But as far as getting out there, we just kind of going with the flow. I saw
Right.
you and I'm just like, okay, I love what you're doing.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and sign up because this is awesome. So
Oh,
any
well, thank
opportunity
you.
that,
I'm glad
yeah.
it's awesome. So that leads me into this next question, which is if someone wanted to do it, I mean, what are some of the challenges in even running a business? Because you mentioned one of them that you're trying to find your flow in things. But
Mhm.
I want to also cater to those who are listening who are interested in trying to do graphic design. We have so many, there's thousands of graphic design artists out
Mhm.
there. And, just talk a little bit about what does it really take to just run a business of this caliber so that people can get a clear understanding of, what to expect and maybe what to expect from you that stands out?
Definitely, definitely. Good question. I would say graphic design industry is very competitive. There's so many people that I'm not gonna say that can do what you do, but that can try to do what you do. You got like Fiverr where you can get $5 logos, and so it's very competitive. So you really have to figure out what sets you apart, what makes you different than everyone else, and with me and Toluca and we're a co-founder. I have a partner, and we go back and forth. What sets us apart? We keep building that and keep installing that and keep changing exactly what sets us apart. Like, yes, we're young and black designers, but what else sets us apart that enables us that we can go far? And really figuring out what your future is like. Like, is this really something that like you want to do part-time, full-time? Are you trying to create a business where you have other designers under you? So really figuring out what your end goal is, what your future is, um, and figuring out your niche. We like branding, and that's what we do. We don't really. We've told ourselves we're not going to put us in a box of industries, but some designers say they only want to focus on designers in churches. They only want to focus on design in churches, or they only want to focus on restaurants. Really figure out that niche and do your research on it.
Hmm.
Definitely do your research.
With an emphasis on doing research. I would just like to add to that, just starting a new business doesn't matter what it is.
Mhm.
It does require you to do a lot of research, and I do agree, as you said at the beginning of the interview, that a lot of us, and when I say us, I'm including us too, and me, okay,
Yeah.
sometimes don't have the time to do the research and or know exactly what we're looking for. But I do strongly believe that whenever you're about to go into a new venture, whatever it is, new product, new service, whatever it is, to just stop for a moment and actually research what you're about to put out there so that you can be
Mhm.
successful.
Yep.
And then when you have people like you, Toluca Studio and the people who are with you to help bring that message out in the design or your logo, that is where it's going to be. And that's what makes a strong product, I think. This is what I'm
Definitely.
learning as a small business, even though I've been doing this a long time, as people know, but I'm still a very young business learning how to market and how to effectively brand and bring that message out. And like you
Mhm.
said, it's very important. Without the research, I probably wouldn't be able to do as much as I'm doing right now.
Right, right.
So, yeah, so it's definitely something that you have to invest in, which is what you said as well.
Definitely.
So, absolutely, absolutely. So, I have one final question for you. I would like to know, what do you need personally and professionally to keep going and keep doing what you're doing? What do you
Oh,
need?
I need God. I got him, but I always need him. Like, don't leave me.
Oh, he not going nowhere, girl.
I know he not. I know he not. But man, that faith and having him right there, because I mean, life and being an entrepreneur and being a small business owner, it can be, it's really hard. This isn't the easy route. Listeners, like, it's not the easy route. It's very hard, but I look at the bigger goal, the bigger, I think it's gonna, as I get older and what I want, it's gonna pay out. But it's hard, and I need the faith, and I need the push from people around me, from my business partner. I think you need to have someone that you can talk to, and have someone that can push you when things get hard, because things will get hard. So you need a team. You need someone behind you, um, to push you.
Yeah, you said it. You need a team and you definitely need that support, because a lot of times it's difficult to run a business and you have a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of challenges. There's a bunch of disappointments.
Yeah,
However, if you look past all of the little small accomplishments that you've made in the process, it really sort of breaks you even, and be proud of that. And so I want to
definitely.
push you. I'm pushing you now, Lucy,
I
to get out
appreciate
there
it.
and find your flow, find your
Definitely.
flow, find your niche, because, and I applaud the fact that you're going out there and you're creating something different and unique, so that you're working with small businesses that have all these bright ideas, right? And
Definitely,
that
yeah.
you're trying to use your gift to bring that out. And so I want to encourage people to just reach out to you, try you out, see what's going on. Don't be scared.
Yeah,
That's
no,
why we do this podcast, so
that's
that
how
we
we
help
got.
people find resources they can use no matter what it is. So I'm going to
Definitely.
be pushing you, and so of course, I'm your biggest fan right now. So I got the pom poms, I got the whole cheerleader.
Appreciate it. I
Way
love
back
it.
in the day, we used to make the A's and stuff. My
Yes,
name is Lucy, and you clap your hands
yeah.
and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm your biggest cheerleader, and so I'm
That's what's
always
up.
excited to hear new businesses doing something definitely creative and exciting. And so, with that, I want to thank you for being on the podcast platform and sharing
Thank
your
you.
story with us. And I'm going to ask people
Thank
to
you.
like, share, and vote to support you and
Yes,
what you're
please
doing,
do.
and to help you win an award, so you can have that extra push
Whoop,
to keep
whoop.
doing what you're doing. So, thank you
Yes,
so much.
appreciate it. Thank you.